welcome. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We are live in St. Paul, downtown St. Paul. We got somebody screaming Unicorn Riot. Lewis Hunter is Philando Castile's cousin, and he is being charged, the only one being charged with felonies, and this is a support Lewis Hunter rally where they will be handing in postcards. These postcards, thank you, Air Support Team. These postcards will be bearing the signatures of thousands of people, maybe 1,000 or more people, that are calling for the dropping of charges for Lewis Hunter. They have t-shirts over there for sale across the street. Give you all a little closer view. This is downtown St. Paul. This is the river right there, like right there. Right here we got the big old banner joint. We have a marching band. And we have some facts. Here's the banner. Drop the charges against Lewis Hunter. And we have a whole bunch of the postcards. And these postcards are signed by people. And there's just tons of these postcards. Wow, he's got a whole thick stack. How many papers do you think you have in your...
Like 30, 40, something like that.
And then how many are on each one? How many postcards are on each one?
Oh my gosh, I didn't do them, so I don't know. But maybe, let's see here, 5, 10, 25?
There's 1,079 total.
1,079 total? Thank you. So we got, and then here we got Lewis Hunter right here. Bang, bang. And again, he is Philando Castile's cousin. And we will talk to him a little bit later. He'll also be making a statement a little bit later. There's going to be some speeches that are going to happen this morning. They're going to turn all these postcards into Ramsey County Attorney's office. The Ramsey County Attorney is John Choi. And this is John Choi's office. John Choi is also the same Ramsey County Attorney that pressed charges against Geronimo Yanez. This is his office inside here. And so John Choi has the ability to drop the charges. John Choi is not the prosecuting attorney, or his office is not doing the prosecuting of Lewis Hunter in this case. There's a conflict of interest in the case of Lewis Hunter. Therefore, the Carver County attorney, assistant Carver County attorney, is the one that's going to be prosecuting Lewis Hunter for his alleged crimes. His alleged crimes are throwing rocks. They've changed multiple times. The alleged charges have changed multiple times. It first was that he was throwing a Molotov. Here goes the postcards. And so the postcards are basically just signatures. On the other side is a picture. And it's the picture that's on the front of our article. So if you go to unicornriot.ninja and you see the last article, or the first article that's up there, that charge, or that article specifically, will have the picture that's on the front of this postcard. It's an artist rendition of Philando Castile along with Lewis Hunter. Philando Castile was murdered by Geronimo Yanez. Geronimo Yanez, a police officer. This was last July 2016. Geronimo Yanez was charged with a crime, a few crimes, and he was not convicted. And him being not convicted was a very hard point for the city and this community of Twin Cities. So there's been a support group that has grown out of what's happened after that. So after that, there was basically an occupation of the governor's mansion, and from that occupation of the governor's mansion, there was specifically a few actions that branched out, one of them being I-94 shutdown and that shutdown resulted in quite a few arrests, maybe 100 arrests that night. I think 46 people were charged with third-degree riot. 38 of those people had their, maybe 38, I'm not sure. 38 or 46 were charged with third-degree riot, along with a couple other charges. And the main person who was charged, the only person who was charged with a felony was Lewis Hunter. Lewis Hunter happens to be Philando Castile's cousin. Again, so July 9th last year, 2016, supposedly Lewis Hunter pulled up on Grotto Street, which is right next to the freeway, or on a street off of Grotto Street, right next to the freeway, which is I-94, where people had taken over the freeway in a shutdown protest. There was things that were thrown at police during that time. There was some clashes. Somebody called in. So the first police report said that Lewis Hunter was specifically pulled up on Grotto. From pulling up, he got out, said these fucking pigs are gonna get it, something to that effect. And then from there, he ends up throwing Molotovs onto the freeway. That's what one of the first callers said. They released a police report off that. They picked Lewis Hunter up the next day. I think they impounded his truck. They got him outside of his car. They got him when he was in his car with a few friends. They impounded his truck. And from impounding his truck, basically, he's been like, he's lost his job or lost his ability to work. He's also like faced eviction, and maybe even got evicted, and a few other bad things have happened. And so all these things have happened based on the fact that he was charged and come after with these alleged charges. And again, this is Philando Castile's cousin that we're talking about. And you see, it's just like a nice little support team out here for him. You know, he's got 50 to 100 people out here that are showing solidarity and searching for some kind of justice. In this case, as some of these people were arrested on I-94 last year. And we got the marching band, anarchist marching band. So we're gonna get a little closer to these guys, and then we'll get back over there. Some of the other shirts.
Charges. Why are we here? Drop the charges! Why are we here? Drop the charges! Why are we here? Drop the charges! Thank you very much. My name's Jesse Mortensen. I'm one of the folks who was arrested on I-94 protesting the murder of Philando Castile last summer. I'm one of many standing with Lewis Hunter in solidarity, saying no to a legal system that is going after him in a deeply unjust way. We are refusing to take plea deals. We are saying, nope, we're not doing anything until Lewis gets his. And I'm here to MC and introduce some folks today. I want to ask all of our speakers to be brief, because today we have over 1,100 voices waiting to be heard. Yeah. That's right. We have got tremendous momentum here in the community building to get justice for Lewis Hunter, to get these charges dropped, to let this family breathe. And for the first time today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask Lewis himself to read a statement. So I want to invite Lewis Hunter, father, small business person, beloved community member, to speak to us.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning, Lewis!
What are we here for?
Drop the charges!
What are we here for?
Drop the charges!
Thank y'all very much for coming out today. It means the world to me and my family. And I got this statement that I want to read from to let y'all know a little about me. Yeah, my name is Lewis Hunter, and I am innocent of all my charges, all the charges. I'm innocent, guys.
Can you get that up a little bit?
I am Philando's cousin.
Bring the mic down to my face.
I am Philando's cousin. I showed up to protest of the death of, in the death of my cousin. I'm still outraged about the killing that happened to my cousin, but I call it a murder. That was a murder. Crucifixion. That was a murder. But I didn't throw anything. I never done nothing to harm any officer or no one there. I came and I went home. I am a father of 4. I love my daughters. I'm always in their life. I'm there all the time. I have them every weekend. Them is my girls. On top of that, I am starving. I am, sorry y'all. I am starving to set an example for them. Them is my daughters. I set example. So me going on that freeway, doing that could have never been me. I set example for my daughter. I'm a leader in my home. So with that, I set example. So I would have never went out there and did that to harm no one. I was there for just a protest. Because they trumped up charges they giving me, I done lost my home, I done lost my business, I done lost my vehicle from all this.
That ain't right.
That is not right.
That ain't right!
That is not right. My kids is overwhelmed on all this. My family, all of us. It's been even hard to mourn my own cousin over this, all this stuff that's going on. So I ask all y'all to continue. When I say continue, please continue to stand back against the wall, and let's stand for something. United we stand, divided we fall. So I need this support. I need all you guys. My family needs y'all. So I thank you guys. When I say I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out today, this evening, showing me all this love. I appreciate it. I'm a little nervous, but I did it.
All right.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it. One more time. What we here for?
Drop the charges!
One more time. What we here for?
Drop the charges!
Thanks again for everyone showing up.
All right, we do have a couple other speakers, and we got a big crowd here. Can I get my speakers to just raise their hands so I can find y'all? All right, we got Michelle here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce somebody who's been fighting this system for justice for a long time. Michelle Gross with Communities United Against Police Brutality.
Thank you.
Hi, Michelle! CUNPP!
I don't think I need that sound system. We all I am so proud to be standing here, and I am so pleased to have been invited to stand here. I thank you for this invitation, because I want to point out a couple of things, and it's probably the obvious, but as we all know, not a single cop in the state of Minnesota has ever spent even a night in jail.
No.
For maiming and killing members of our community.
No.
Not even a night. Think about this latest killing. Where's Officer Noor? In his house, right? He's not in jail. He's nowhere that he should be as a person implicated in a homicide. Any of us would be in a jail, but he's not there. Lewis Hunter and all the other people that have been involved in protests and arrested at these protests have all spent more time in jail than these murderous cops. That ain't right.
That ain't right.
And that ain't right. You ain't lying. Yet people who are pressed are taking on the system in powerful ways. That is the thing that they do not want to see happen. So therefore, they have decided to use Lewis Hunter as an example to try to scare people back into their corners. Are we going to be scared back into our
Hell no!
No! We will not be scared. We will not be stopped. This system, this same system that allows police to get away with murdering people, is the same system that oppresses us daily, and it goes after us, and it will not allow us, or tries not to allow us, to take them on in powerful ways. Because this system, what we have to know, is it concedes nothing without a struggle.
That's right.
We all know that. Those are wise words, and they've always been true. This system concedes nothing without a struggle. And we have to get out here and stand up against the system in powerful ways. And the system itself is scared to death when we do it.
You know it.
You saw last session all these bills trying to criminalize anything that looked like civil disobedience.
Yeah.
And they did that because, again, they want us to protest in the nice ways that will never change a goddamn thing.
Listen.
So let's be really clear about what this is about.
Struggle.
Lewis, it's about struggle. It's about standing up against this system. It's about forcing them to do the right thing because they will never do it on their own. If they thought it was such a great idea, they would have done it already. And they're not going to do it because they like keeping us in our place.
Yeah.
So what I say, and I'm trying to go nice and quick because we do want to make sure that we get out here and do the thing we came to do. So I say this. Lewis Hunter is not a criminal.
No.
That's right.
Lewis Hunter has never been a criminal. This is a good man that did the right thing, standing up not just for his cousin, but he continues to stand up for every victim of police brutality. That makes him not a criminal. That makes him a hero. I thank Lewis Hunter. I'm proud to stand with Lewis Hunter. Drop the charges now or else. Thank
Thank you so much, Michelle. And I want to just check in. Do we have another speaker? Anybody who I'm missing in the back? Nope. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're here to do. We have had an all-volunteer community crew of people who cannot bear to watch this injustice be piled upon an already profound injustice.
That's right.
We've had hundreds and hundreds of conversations with members of this community here in St. Paul, around the Twin Cities. We're talking to people from around Minnesota, and we have built a tremendous momentum of new voices calling for the charges against Lewis Hunter to be dropped, for this unjust prosecution to end now.
Yes.
So I would like to point everyone out to these sheets of postcards. We have collected over 1,128 postcards, all from community members asking the prosecutors to drop these charges. We have hundreds and hundreds from people here in St. Paul. We were at the Rondo Festival talking to folks just a few weeks ago. But we've got folks from all over, and I just want to read some of the cities that we've got people who are speaking out on this issue and paying attention to this case. We got people who have signed these postcards from Brainerd, Winona, Eagan, Falcon Heights, Fargo, Moorhead, Burnsville, St. Anthony, Little Canada, Maplewood, Plymouth, Rosemont, Oakdale, Roseville, Brooklyn Park, West St. Paul, North St. Paul, St. Paul Park, St. Cloud, Bloomington, Savage, Big Lake, New Hope, Blaine, Hilltop, Golden Valley, Lino Lakes, Woodbury, Brooklyn Center, Duluth, Farmington, La Center, Owatonna, and Mankato. All over Minnesota. You can check. You can look at these boards and you can find these cities and these names. And beyond, we've talked to people from Chicago, from Omaha, from Kansas City, from Louisville, New Orleans, New York City, Des Moines, Paris. We got somebody from Prague, Czech Republic. These postcards. If that's not a cross-section of our community, I don't know what is. And I think what this shows is we have got a clear message that this prosecution is not in the interest of justice as the community sees it.
That's right. It's definitely in the interest of oppression, however.
That's right. And so we are here today to deliver these postcards. We're here today to deliver a stack of letters demanding that County Attorney John Choi sit down and hear these concerns. Hear this broadening coalition of community voices asking for him to step in. And we know that John Choi made the decision to pass this case on to bring in a special prosecutor. The least he can do is to receive these postcards, this message, and pass that on as well. But that's not all we're asking for. We're asking for him to recognize the extraordinary circumstances surrounding this case. We're asking him to recognize that justice is more than protocol and it's more than rules. Justice is love in public, and we're asking him to make an act of love and to step in. Regardless of what the protocol says, we're asking him to do the right thing.
That's right.
That's right.
And so I want to just ask you to join me in asking and demanding right now, one more time, Drop the charges.
Drop the charges! Drop the charges! Drop the charges!
Drop the charges.
Drop the charges!
Drop the charges.
Drop the charges! 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 Drop the charges!
Drop the charges.
You guys take it down or we take it down? Yeah.
We'll take it down.
Take them down, please. Could you get that up?
There's a couple of security officers who come out and telling people they need to take off the postcards that were just plastered up on the windows.
You want to take them down? Yeah, they're not taking them down.
Looks like they're going to start taking them down. Same time they're posting more up. Again, inside there. This is Ramsey County Attorney's office, and these are postcards that were delivered, or they were being delivered to Ramsey County Attorney John Choi. They are signed by a vast number of community members, thousands, and from those signatures they are using those to pass them on in calling for the dropping of the charges. Lewis Hunter was arrested and charged last July, arrested with being involved with the I-94 shutdown. He was arrested after the protest. He was arrested on the premise that he was allegedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at the police. That has been proven to be like a debunked allegation, as the police have even changed their charges and changed their complaint. It's now that he was possibly throwing rocks at police. This is after his cousin, Philando Castile, was murdered. Again, we're talking about Lewis Hunter. Lewis Hunter is over there in the yellow.
94.1 FM.
Say that into the
WFNU 4 to 6. Lewis Hunter on WFNU 94.1 FM, Frogtown Community Radio, the Trey and Crew Show. We're gonna have an exclusive with him tomorrow, and his children. Peace.
You heard it. So that's it's going to be a special with Lewis Hunter tomorrow. Yeah, sweet. Thank you. So I'll read the immediate release for the charges. Basically, this is what they're handing out to community members and to other people in St. Paul. The aftermath of Officer Yanez's acquittal, supporters of U.S. Lewis Hunter are increasing pressure on prosecutors to drop his charges. On Friday, protesters held a rally outside the office. This was today. Hunter is the cousin of Philando Castile, is the only person out of thousands of demonstrators who is facing felony level charges related to the public response to Castile's killing last year. With Yanez's acquittal, Hunter, who faces 2 counts of felony riot, may be the only person to do prison time related to his cousin's killing. Hunter admits to attending the protest of his cousin's killing, but maintains innocence of the riot charges and speaking publicly for the first time to clear his name. So today you just heard his first public speech. We'll talk to him a little bit lengthier in a few moments, hopefully. Lewis' statement to the media is read, and you can go back and check that out. Choi declared Hunter's case a conflict while the office was prosecuting Officer Yanez, and referred Hunter's prosecution to David Hunt. We talked about that a little bit earlier. David Hunt works for the Carver County Attorney Mark Metz's office. Despite Hunter's consistent denial of his charges, we're gonna wait for a second.
being there, Unicorn Riot. If you go in there.
Right now we're going inside. I don't know if the connection will drop.
There's no way coming. Go ahead, Unicorn Riot.
Hello, good morning. How are you? It's us again. Full throttle. We're here. We've been outside this morning a little bit, but we were hoping if we had a chance to talk to the county attorney today. He's in meetings. Is there someone who could speak with us for a second this morning? A deputy or someone else? Someone will be coming shortly? Okay. So we'll just stay here for the time being. Okay.
Max
capacity is 31.
Seemed like a very nice interaction right there.
31. No, I see 32. See, that's where they get us.
Keep it going. Keep it coming down. Keep it on. Keep coming in.
Looks like they're bringing the marching band inside. There goes Lewis Hunter and his attorney outside of the John Choi's Ramsey County Attorney's office.
Trying to get them to drop the charges on Mr. Lewis Hunter. Right here.
So probably about 50 to 100 people. They started to stream into the Ramsey County Attorney's office.
Get up to Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot in front line.
Thank you.
Unicorn Riot.
Thank you.
Unicorn Riot was looking straight at the police, recording the police, while the police got the guns pointing at Unicorn Riot.
That's my money full throttle.
Oh, Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot's the real deal. While all the real multi-million-dollar media ran and flee out of sight. Unicorn Riot is right there. Yeah.
So they got the drop the charges banner in. So again, right now they are trying to turn in these postcards. Here's somebody to speak.
Attorney General John Choi.
My name is Brian Heilman. I'm a Ramsey County resident and constituent. Who are you, sorry? I don't know if this is on.
Oh, she got to push the button.
Sorry? No. Sorry? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, so it's difficult, but I'll do my best.
How long you been working here?
Yeah, we're here to deliver over 1,100 postcards to the county attorney. They represent voices from across Minnesota, across the United States, and across the world, really, calling for him to pay more attention to the prosecution against Lewis Hunter, Philando Castile's cousin, and to whatever power he has to intervene and drop those charges. But short of that, we have just a short note here. I can give you a couple copies if you're willing to take it. This is a letter on behalf of a group of us and in my name as a Ramsey County resident, calling for if he would sit with us and have a meeting and hear our concerns about what we consider to be a baseless and racist prosecution against Lewis, to understand his office's decision to move the prosecution to the Carver County Prosecutor's Office, and just understand why he believes that this prosecution should go forward. We have a different belief. We believe that the charges should be dropped, and so do all the people who have written these postcards that we're delivering today.
Expeditiously.
If you don't press the button, okay?
Nah.
I'm sorry.
Use the button. We have to do our job.
This is not our first rodeo.
Get somebody who knows how to turn it on.
What's going on, ma'am?
Help her, please, ma'am.
Can you identify your name to us, too?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
please.
She doesn't know how to do it.
You haven't even identified your name to us, ma'am.
See, this is what we're talking about.
You fired.
Don't work.
She's going to come to the door.
She's gonna come to the door. Okay. Here she goes. Oh, here she goes.
We can hear it now.
So they're kind of clumsy for you, but this is all of the postcards that we've been collecting from community members, like I said, around the state, the country, the world, through various community events.
I'll be happy to take them.
That's amazing. We'll start the book for you here. I'm glad that if you could please pass the letter to the county attorney.
I will certainly pass the letter. This was your current information.
That's right.
And you've seen the website. There's a statement on the website.
Oh, I didn't see a statement on the website.
Go under frequently asked questions, and there's, it explains why,
Who answers that?
Who answers what?
The frequent questions asked.
Oh, it's not something you. It's a
But who
it's like a
answers
website.
that?
Oh, the county attorney's office.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
directly, right?
So if you would
Who are
just,
you? Who are you?
my name is Janet Hafner.
Okay. And your position here?
I support this. I'm the director of the support staff.
You're the director.
Right now, there is no one. The county attorney is not here. The deputy county attorney is not
We
here.
pay our taxes.
But
We pay our taxes for them to be here.
We were actually told he's in a meeting.
He's in a meeting.
So come on now.
If they're not in a meeting, we pay our taxes for them to be here.
It's amazing. It would be amazing if we could get some kind of answer, even if he can't.
Not today.
Oh my
Wow. Can't make this up.
We need to. If you want me to take them, you can hand them to me now.
Jesus.
What are you going to do with them, ma'am?
Well, at least an indication of whether this meeting could be scheduled. Maybe we leave today knowing a date for the meeting.
Sorry, I will take these. If you want to give them to me, I'll be happy to take them.
So you take them, but
Okay.
you can't tell us where we're going to be heard.
And we were going to have it.
We want accountability.
Sorry.
What's going on? What's going
We'll
on?
give them to you.
What's going on,
Just gather them.
Ma'am, we have a lot of
Let's deliver the postcards.
got a lot.
I think the plan would be, and we really hope to hear from you. The plan would be every Friday that we'll present ourselves again and make the same request until we're able to have a meeting.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine.
Okay, do we
these
all
are
have
the
any
messages.
cards that we have here?
How we would not know that these postcards are going to be in the trash?
Right, exactly.
And we're not going to just be happy with the meeting either.
Like,
What we
for real.
really want is for these charges to be dropped. I think
Immediately.
we can't be put off by meeting and meeting and meeting because that's a drain on all our energy, and the people want this dropped.
Now.
Expeditiously.
Can you assure us that the county attorney would see
If
this?
they're not,
Absolutely. I will bring
when do
them.
they
I
get
will
into
bring them
that?
up to
When do
his
they
office
come back
right now.
into this?
I'm not sure, but I will
Well,
bring them
you're
up
not
to his
sure, but
office.
you're the director.
But I
You're
will
not
sure.
sure?
I'll bring them up to his
Oh,
office.
Who knows the schedule?
Are you just blowing us off? Are you just blowing us off?
Is there a schedule calendar with inside? Is there a calendar inside that you would know their schedule? Ma'am, do you know their schedules?
Of course she does.
Ma'am, you're the director. Do you know?
Director.
Of course she does. She's not answering.
Ma'am, we're asking you very nicely.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Excuse me, Janet? Do you know their schedule as the director?
I don't know their schedule. I know that he's in a
Can you
meeting.
get, are you privy to,
But
are you privy,
I will do
are you
this. I
privy
will
to that
do this.
information?
I will do this
Are
like
you
we do
privy
any-
to that
I will do
information?
this like I do
Are you
anyone that
privy
comes-
to that information to their schedule?
Please answer the question, ma'am.
Ma'am,
No, I'm not
Please.
right now.
you're
Oh my
not
goodness.
right now. Can we get that information?
What's going on, ma'am? What's going on?
We would like to
Hey,
schedule a
ma'am,
meeting.
ma'am,
We're
ma'am,
American
ma'am,
citizens.
do you know their schedule?
Officer?
We're American citizens. We
We
would like to
taxpayers,
schedule a
ma'am.
meeting.
These are taxpayers that are upset with you guys sitting behind, putting
We're trying to do our due process.
due process. We have to have taxpayers.
Look at her, look at her, watch
They can do their
her. She's
job.
fixing- Watch out, she's running, she's not running. We can help, we can help here.
Representation.
Thank you, ma'am.
And you know where we
Thank
pay
you,
it? By
sir.
working at
You did a great
McDonald's.
job.
That's how we paid it.
Yeah, really.
So they don't know the schedule.
Well,
We don't know when they're going to come in. We just have to ask logical questions. These questions are not hard. If she doesn't, if she's the director and she probably gets paid $100,000 a year and don't know her boss's schedules, that's concerning to taxpayers, and we need to speak up. So continually, we'll do this all across Minnesota, all across Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities area. There's not a black or white. It's everybody together. We have Asians and everybody together. For the city clerk. So it's time to turn up the pressure. Thank you very much.
So basically, what just happened here inside of Ramsey County Attorney's Office, or the front vestibule area of the Ramsey County Attorney's Office, which is back there and to the left somewhere, is that people brought over 1,000 postcards that were signed by community members across the world, mostly Minnesota. Those 1,000 signatures on postcards were... I'll continue talking in a minute.
Make anything up. Make them drop them charges.
So we got people, basically marching band has been inside John Choi's office area for the last half hour or so. Essentially there's 1,000 plus signatures and postcards that were handed into John Choi's office demanding that they drop the charges against dropping the charges against Lewis Hunter. Lewis Hunter is being charged of felony second-degree riot for participating in the I-94 protest last July 9th, 2016. If you want to learn more information about that, go to unicornriot.ninja. This is Nico reporting here from St. Paul. We're downtown in John Choi's office. Again, this is an action to drop the charges for Lewis Hunter. It's basically a solidarity, political prisoner support in a way. Although Hunter's not a prisoner at the moment, he did get arrested and charged at one point, and I think got evicted from his place, faced job difficulties, had his car impounded, so a lot of negative effects happened already to Lewis Hunter, who's the cousin of Philando Castile. Go to our website, unicornriot.ninja, for more information. It's one of the last posts, or first posts on this page you'll see. For hours. If you want to watch that, we have that live streamed on our website. Go to unicornriot.ninja. That's what I was saying earlier. This song is Drop the Charges, Up Yours. Chance to read it. So anyways, that person showed it to the police officer smiled and nodded their head. Again, so over 100 people arrested for what I hear that action July 9th. If you do not know about it, go to our website, check it out. We live streamed the whole night. I think there was 46 people that were charged with third-degree riot, 38 of those at least, and I think they all got the third-degree riot dropped. The charge that we're sticking, that has been stuck against Lewis Hunter, has stayed. They've offered a couple plea deals or a plea deal. His trial is coming up soon, and the trial will be held here in Ramsey County, but it'll be prosecuted by Carver County attorney Dustin something, can't remember specifically, or Mark Metz, one of those. And so essentially his trial will be coming up soon. There's been, again, like I said, an attempt to there's been an attempt to get a plea deal from him. He said no, he's not going to take the plea deal because he was not guilty of doing what they say that he was guilty of doing.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna walk outside for a minute.
Listen!
Pretty large crowd outside.
Unicorn Riot! Yeah. Unicorn Riot!
And so right here we got the crowd. It's a nice little crowd. 50 or so to 100 people showed up to this marching band. They got the t-shirts out here, drop the charges. $20 for the support to Lewis Hunter. Picture.
tied. Justice for defeating the mom means justice for dropping them charges for Louis Hunter.
Hey, Louis, you feel like you can say a couple words as to what this meant to you?
Man, this means the world to me, man. You already know, man. Like, for us to have somebody to come, people to come out like this big of a crowd to support me, please, man. I am honored, appreciated, everything, man. And once again, drop the charges.
You hear it from Louis Hunter. Here comes the marching band coming out. So again, Louis Hunter being charged with second-degree felony riot. Originally, they said that he threw Molotovs. There was a police report that was written by a caller that called 911, said they saw Louis Hunter roll up into his truck next to the freeway where the I-94 protest shutdown was happening. They say that he got out of his truck and threw Molotovs that did not light, but they fizzled out before they hit the freeway. That is the allegation. That allegation got changed in the next police report after that to something similar to he was just throwing rocks. And so essentially that's where it's at. There's second-degree riot charges against Louis Hunter for possibly, allegedly, throwing rocks and construction debris. While on the Interstate 94 during the shutdown, Unicorn Riot was live during that whole night. We were standing next to Louis Hunter on the freeway for a portion of at least 5 minutes, or at least a few minutes to 5 minutes. That few minutes we saw Louis Hunter in his white pants that he got shot with the mark around at. Hey, what's up? Good, good, how are you? Louis Hunter is Philando Castile's cousin. He was charged with felony second-degree riot for the protest that happened last July on I-94. They shut down the freeway, and he's the only person being charged with felony. And so people are having to support Louis Hunter to drop his charges.
He's the only one charged.
Yeah, well, so there was a lot of people charged, but he was the only one who's charged with a felony. And they say that he supposedly threw rocks and construction debris at the police.
I doubt it.
But everybody else got their charges dropped. And their third-degree charges dropped.
They got something against them.
Yeah, and so he's Philando's cousin. A lot of people think he's targeted. And Michaela, can you hand a couple of these over? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, he is targeted. I believe that too.
St. Paul cops are organized crime.
And Richfield. Richfield too. All of them together.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. So we're gonna hear what the rest of these talking about.
Support Louis Hunter on Facebook, supportlouishunter.org. Stay in touch with us. We are going to be having new actions coming out. We got word about new community partners coming on board really soon, so we'll have exciting news, and this is going to keep growing. Thank you so much.
They don't get no peace.
Listen!
They don't get no peace. We don't get no justice. They don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no
You're good. You're good.
They don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If Louis don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. charges! Drop the charges!
So again, this is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Off to the left side, up there with the black hat and the yellow shirt is Lewis Hunter. Lewis Hunter, again, is the cousin of Philando Castile. He's charged with felony second-degree riot. Community is asking for his charges to be dropped. They're asking for some kind of semblance of justice where if at least Philando Castile's killer is not in jail, Philando shouldn't be in jail and shouldn't be facing more years in jail than the person who killed Philando. So essentially that's that. You heard a statement from Lewis Hunter earlier. There's Lewis Hunter right here shaking hands with a person. He was very thankful that people came out to witness and to show support and solidarity for him. Again, this is St. Paul. Here's the Ramsey County Courthouse. Here's the Ramsey County Attorney's Office, John Choi. People came with over 1,000 postcards. Those 1,000 postcards had a lot of...
August 8th through the 11th for I-94 arrestees! August 8th to 11th!
It's down here. We got packed before, we're August 8th to 11th for the I-94 arrestees. So people stand with them as well. And then August 14th and 15th at 12:30 both days, we have arraignments for all the people that were arrested at June 16th at the post-Yanez verdict rallies, protests. So we've got 2 important sets of court dates coming up. August 8th through 11th. What time?
It's 8 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. Come as you can.
Yeah, come as you can for the trials of the I-94 arrestees, the 94 Friends, and come August 14th and 15th at 12:30 for the arraignments of all the people arrested on June 16th.
Is one of you all the best people to talk to about the solidarity that's shown from the arrestees to Lewis Hunter's case?
I would not be.
Okay. Do you know about that, Michelle? Can you talk? Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah? We'll figure it out. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, I see. Thank you so much.
Anyway, did you see the thing today? I just got a thing from...
So we're not going to interrupt this person's conversation, but in a minute we're going to try to talk to somebody about the solidarity shown from the arrestees. So there's a lot of people who've been arrested during these cases, during these trials. During these protests. Basically, there's been a large amount of police shootings in the last few years here in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and essentially we have... Essentially, we have a way for people to show solidarity to each other. Jesse?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Nico.
Nico, good to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Would you be down to discuss with our viewers about the solidarity shown from all the arrestees towards Lewis Hunter's case?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Okay,
it's
so
a good spot, or
right here is perfect.
Okay.
I'll just get you right here. So, there's a lot of people who were arrested on July 9, 2016. Those people included Lewis Hunter after the fact, but people were arrested on the freeway, charged with third-degree riot and a multitude of other smaller misdemeanors. Can you explain sort of what's happened with those cases? A lot of them have even been thrown out by Judge Atwell, but a lot of people, the arrestees, you being one of them, I believe, are banding together and showing solidarity for Lewis Hunter, saying that they will not accept any plea deals until he gets his charges dropped. Can you talk about this?
That's right. So early on, we didn't know each other. I didn't know, basically, I know a couple people who got arrested that night. I definitely didn't know Lewis, but I've gotten to know Lewis, and everyone's gotten to know Lewis. And once we found out what had happened to him and the really serious charges that he's facing, we got really concerned and decided to make that one of our focus in all this organizing. We are organizing against police repression generally. They came out hard against Lewis. They came out hard against us. That third-degree riot charge was a gross misdemeanor. Not a lot of precedent for that. That was a distinct overcharge, and that's the one that got thrown out by the judge on I think about 4 dozen cases. That one was thrown out, but we still have the felony riot charges that Lewis is facing. We look at those also as just a grossly trumped up charge set to, just like in our cases, punish dissent, because we saw a huge outpouring from the community, and I think they're striking back to try to punish people and say, look, you're going to face these big charges if you speak up against injustice in the future. So as a result of that situation, we've made Lewis a focus, and we've been standing with him and helping to organize stuff like this, but also in the courtroom saying we're not going to take deals, and we're going to keep dragging this through the system as long as you're putting Lewis in this ridiculous and dangerous spot for him.
All right. So can you talk about sort of how that process is going? Basically, you get charged and you have to show up to court a multitude of times before something happens at the end. And during those times, they offer you plea deals. Can you talk about like some of the pleas that you all are getting offered, and then possibly just like why it's important that you all are doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. So legal process is very slow. There's been a lot of pretrial hearings. We have none of us have had the. Sorry, man. We're in the middle of the interview.
Out today to get something to eat, please.
I help you right after this if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So legal system's really slow, and we had initially a full set of charges because we so many of us refused to take they offered a plea deal right away to the 48 of us. It was a terrible plea deal. It was basically what we'd get if we were convicted, right? They did not offer any lenience whatsoever. And then once those we stuck together, though, we didn't have many people drop off, and because we stuck together, the gross misdemeanor riot charge was dropped by the judge, and we've continued to show up at pretrial hearings. They continue to only offer that original deal. The deal has not gotten any better, and to me, that's again another indication that they're pursuing a political agenda here. They're not. Because the charges we're still facing are public nuisance and unlawful assembly. Those are very low-level charges. We're a group of people who do not have priors for the most part, right? Not everybody, but for the most part, we're people who are there in principal protest. So in most cases like this in the Twin Cities and other places, you get a petty misdemeanor. That's the most common charge for this kind of protest. The fact that they won't budge and they're still offering us this, what I consider a very bad plea deal, but moreover, the fact that Lewis is facing time in prison, which is just outrageous to me. That's why we continue to say, nope, not going to do it. And we still have, I think it's like 24 people right now who have not taken plea deals.
Wow. Okay, and then so can you just real quickly, like, not taking the plea deal clogs up, can you talk about the clogging up of the system, and like, they have to bring everybody to trial then? Are they putting everybody in the same trial? Or is that what the one thing they're trying to do? Because in Minneapolis, they were trying to put everybody in the same trials for the I-94 White Allies Philando action. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So prosecutors, they wanted us all, and they made a motion to the judge to have all the cases joined, have one big trial. We said that's a violation of our rights as people here in the United States. We have a right to juries to individually consider the charges against each of us. The judge came down kind of in the middle. He was essentially saying, all right, we're going to put you together in groups of 5 or 6. So we've got a set of trial dates. So those are coming up. We got August 8th is the first one at 9 a.m. So we're already calling for people to come out for a rally at 8 a.m. on August 8th, right down here at the courthouse, right on Kellogg. And that's going to be another opportunity for us to talk about how ridiculous these charges, and most importantly, how outrageous the charges against Lewis are. Following that up, we got another trial on August 21st, and then some more in October. So we are if they're going to come after us, we are going to make them engage with the legal process. We're not going to make this easy. We're not going to cooperate with what is clearly a political prosecution. And yep, that does cost them time and money. We think it's a horrible waste of taxpayer dollars to charge a bunch of people who are just protesting somebody getting killed, and they want to spend 6 trials worth of taxpayer money when it might come down to like petty misdemeanors or something. Like, that's absurd. But because Lewis is facing that serious danger, we're sticking with him. Hey, thanks a lot.
Do you have one more minute I can grab?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks. So last question, basically talked about a lot of the court stuff around it, and thank you for clarifying a lot of that. Can you just talk about, just basically close out with Lewis Hunter's charges? What is he charged with? What's the accusations? He was there on the freeway. They're charging him with things that I didn't see him do while I was on the freeway and standing next to him. Can you talk about it?
Lewis, he wasn't part of organizing or anything like that. He was having you can't imagine what kind of emotional week he was having after the murder of his cousin. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine my own. I try to think about my own parents experiencing the loss of me or one of my siblings in that way, and I can't imagine. He heard about the protests, so he came over. He was like, wow, people are out here standing for me. And so he came over and attended the protest, which I think is absolutely his right. And I hope everybody's got compassion for someone who wants to protest after a family member's been killed that way. And then he left. He left. Officers said, you got to leave, and he left. He was arrested the next day because someone had called in a 911 with his license plate of his truck. That person made an allegation that later turned out not to have any evidence behind it. And so the police allegations have been shifting over time. And at this point, we don't really know exactly what they're alleging. We do know that the original allegation that he had like Molotov cocktail materials in his truck, that's just false. The person who alleged that could not pick him out of a photo lineup, and no evidence of that was found in his truck. So at this point, we don't know exactly what they're going to claim. It's going to come down to just some police officers and their word against Lewis, which we know, we saw what happened at Yanez trial. We know in this country we can't depend on just truth and justice prevailing necessarily. A jury trial is a risky thing, and I have so much respect for Lewis in the decision he made to say, no, I'm not going to plead to something I didn't do. That takes a lot of guts, and I wouldn't have judged him either way, because that's a tough spot to be in. But he made the decision to go to trial and not to plead to something he didn't do. In the plea offer, the thing they offered him would have had jail time. It would have had misdemeanor charges on his record, which would impact housing and his family. I mean, that was no sweetheart deal for him. So that's where things stand right now. He's still facing felony riot charges, which could carry 10 or 20 years in prison at the maximum. Again, that's crazy, because that's what the police officer who murdered his cousin faced as a maximum sentence. So it's just outrageous on its face, and they should absolutely drop those charges.
Anything else you want to say? Your case? What's going on with your case?
My case, so I'm still one of the, I think it's about 25 people still facing misdemeanor, regular misdemeanor, public nuisance, and unlawful assembly for being present on the freeway when we were arrested. And we got those trials coming up. August 8th is the first one, so come on out August 8th, 8 a.m. Rally with us right here at the courthouse downtown St. Paul. Look for we're going to have a Facebook thing passed around. We'll also have information on the Support Lewis Hunter. And it'll be a chance to rally for Lewis as well at those trials, because we're standing with him.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yep, for sure. So I'm going to end this. What's up? Yeah, give me 1 second. Actually, give me 1 second. I'll be right back over. So yeah, this is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is outside of the Ramsey County Attorney's Office. That's Lewis Hunter walking in front. Lewis Hunter just had an action. The solidarity shown to him to drop the charges against him. He's facing, you just heard it from Jesse, one of the other arrestees. Basically, we have the trials coming up, and that's what's going to be happening soon here in St. Paul. Politically motivated trials. A lot of people create that reality in their head based on the reality that they see. And so, again, thank you so much. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. If you like our work, go to unicornriot.ninja. We're only able to do this because you all give us the support to do it. And so, thank you all. Go to unicornriot.ninja for more on this case as well, and the Philando Castile case, as well as Geronimo Yanez getting let off of his trial, being acquitted on all charges. So, thank you again. And this is Lewis Hunter's support team. Basically, had created this rally with a marching band. They delivered over 1,000 signatures and postcards to John Choi's office demanding that the charges be dropped. Again, we're only able to do this because of you all's support, and thank you all for tuning in. And go to Unicorn Riot, that ninja support out here. Oh, yeah. Oh. Unicorn Riot. Oh. Yeah, we're alternative media. We specialize in bringing context to social and environmental struggles. Oh, okay. So Lewis Hunter is sort of like a social struggle connected with Philando Castile, and we're bringing more context to around his case. Oh, okay. And so go to unicornriot.ninja, support our work tab, and pull that up. If you are able to be a monthly donator, that would help us tremendously. $2 a month even goes far. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and this is Nico reporting, signing out from St. Paul, Minnesota.
call it first base.